You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Ian, look at this.
What, it's a police box. What on earth is he doing here? I mean, these things are usually on the street. Feel it. Feel it, you feel it?
Faint vibration.
It's alive.
Earth Station Who, a fun mashup celebrating nearly 50 years of Doctor Who universe. Hold tight. You never know where the TARDIS is going next.
You're probably a bit confused right now. I broke the glass. It's all come back to me.
What is this?
That's my ship.
What?
Let me take it from the top. Hello, I'm the Doctor. I'm a traveller in space and time. And that thing buried down there is called a TARDIS. Time and relative dimension in space. You're gonna love this.
I can see.
Click leave meeting. Sorry.
Exactly. Whoops. I'm leaving you guys to it. You guys could talk. We'll see you guys after.
Nice try, CIA. You're not going to get my streams.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Earth Station Who podcast live. That's right, folks. We are live, and we are going to be talking all about the news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con Virtual 2021 this last weekend, and we have a great crew to talk all about it. Of course, let me introduce my co-host for this week, Mr. Mike Gordon.
Howdy.
And we also have a couple guests with us. Of course, we have Mike Falkner joining with us.
Hello, hello.
We have Melanie Dean joining with us.
Hello.
And our cat.
Of course, now jumping up here. Sorry. Welcome to Zoom. I have two cats who now decided to come in here.
Exactly. And of course, we have Felicity. Hello, Felicity. How's the mayor of Chickentown tonight?
Pretty good. The lightning and thunder have dissipated, so we just have rain now.
That is awesome. Well, it is good to be with everybody. I'm glad everyone is here, and we're going to all be talking about Doctor Who. And if you haven't seen the panel yet, folks, it's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. You know, go ahead, please talk about it, watch it. And then, you know, we definitely are going to be spoiling some stuff from the panel. And we're going to talk about some of the things that, you know, we'd like to see coming for the next season. We're not going to be going off any rumors. We're not going to be going off of, oh, we saw a picture here or a picture there. We might, you know, talk about some theories maybe, but there's enough that came out of this panel that we will be talking all about it. So it's cool. And, you know, of course, we'd love to hear from you guys up on Facebook. We have a chat open, so definitely join into the chat. We'll be taking some questions or comments and of folks who are joining us. And, of course, at home, because this will be going out as a podcast also, we'd love to hear from you guys. Feedback at earthstationwho.com. Definitely would love to hear from everybody. So please, always thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Let's jump in with both feet. We had the Doctor Who panel. It was Sunday. It was supposed to be 2 p.m. Eastern, but it went out an hour early, which is, you know, par for the course for San Diego most of the time. Nothing goes on schedule there. But it was a lot of fun. It was great to see the crew back together. And it was great to see Jodie. It was great to see, you know, of course, Mandip, and you got to meet more of John. What's his name? John Bishop, and you know, we also got his name as Dan Lewis finally for his character, because all we got before this was introducing John Bishop as Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan.
So
awesome, Dan.
Yes. And now once we have Dan, it's like he wouldn't shut up. It was like the whole time during it, he was like blah 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 blah, and it was like, okay, he's gonna be very bubbly.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with him, but I guess he's a comedian, and he talked about sitting down with Graham to talk about the role.
Yes. Oh, rest in peace, Graham. We miss you already.
Graham's shadow was over this whole presentation.
Of course it was.
He'll probably be overshadowing the whole new series too.
They're going to find sandwiches and food left over all over the cars. Like, this is kind of secret stash.
That's just the kind of impact he had.
No, and so what was your first impressions? What do you guys think of, John Bishop? This is my first time seeing him. I wasn't familiar with his comedy or any acting he's done in the past. So,
yeah, same thing here. He's not familiar to me at all. Like I don't know him from anything, but just the attitude he brought to the panel. He was very infectious. It's like you're like, okay, I could deal with this. I could deal with a season of him in there. It looks like he's going to be very, very chatty, very eyes wide open, kind of full of wonder, looking for, the light in as much as he can. So he should be a good companion, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. What about the rest of you guys? I'll come with my theories after you guys.
I like a really old school companion feel from him somehow. I mean, maybe it's just his looks, but he feels like, like an Ian or a Stephen to me a little bit, kind of like the muscle. I don't know.
No, that's true. That's very, very true. That's a good way to actually put it. He did feel like a very old school, and I'll tell you my theory in a second. What about you, Mel?
Same as everyone else. I really don't know, John Bishop's background. So when we got that card of John Bishop as Dan, I'm like, okay, well, we have the internet, so I'm going to go Googling and, found all the different, I couldn't find anything of his stand-up comedy, but I did find him just doing interviews and stuff. And usually since comedians are very based within themselves or their self-material, trying to get more of a feel for them and just seeing this interview, you seeing more of him and knowing now that it was kind of offered to him first, like in a, hey, we have this role. It almost seems like Chibnall crafted it for him. So what you see, it almost seems like what you see is what you get. I mean, granted, he did have to audition and all that kind of stuff. And, when you watch all that, so I'm kind of going, all right, I can see where they already have chemistry. And to everyone else's point, that he's going to be more of the muscle, and he might be a little bit more of. I think he's probably going to be he's going to be Ryan and Graham, where he'll be the muscle kind of guy, but he'll also be the comic relief.
So the white guy in charge again, basically, because you got that. That was one of the complaints with Doctor for the last couple of seasons is you had to have almost became the Graham show because
in season 11. More than season 12, I think.
I agree with that. I think
in the second season.
It's because Graham came in like a fully realized character. It was Yaz and Ryan just didn't feel like that when they came in. They didn't have the presence. They didn't have that backstory. They just kind of felt very. Not the actors, but the characters felt green, and that we were supposed to be there to see them grow. And it's kind of like I kind of want to see somebody that's already knowing what themselves, and then that self growing. So hopefully that's probably what's going to happen with John Bishop. I don't know, or Dan Lewis.
What about you, Mikey?
I mean, yeah, wasn't familiar with John Bishop at all. The announcement meant nothing to me except for, there's another white man joining the crew, so it was like, okay, but it's like, this is the first time I've seen him really interact and he is a comedian. So yes, he's probably going to be there for some comedic relief. He does seem to have a rapport with the two actors that he was sharing the screen with already, so that's good. I don't know if I see him as a muscle because I don't really. I mean, he kind of looks like maybe a bit of an action guy, but he definitely the way he's dressed and everything is more seemingly a more like working class kind of guy, which I appreciate, and that sort of as far as New Who goes, it sort of brings us to, one of the reasons why I think Rose was so successful as a companion, because she was that working class. And I think even though that, Ryan and Graham and even Yaz are not upper class by any means, I think this just sort of nails that home.
Yeah, more, trying to make it more relatable, probably.
Exactly.
To the middle class or, the working man, as we like to say.
But I also think he's going to be the guy this year that's going to be the one that's going to be like, he's the new guy. So he's going to be the guy that's always going to be like, what's going on? Like, even Yaz at this point is seasoned.
Yeah, the audience identification figure.
I just don't want him to be the most important guy in the world or the universe again.
We're already talking about him, so I mean, look, we started with him. So.
Well, of course we started with him. He was the newbie, and he was the almost felt like he was the focus of this whole panel because he did most of the talking during it, and that's one of the things I found that was really interesting about it. He gave me a vibe that, for some reason, it almost felt like Fraser Hines in some ways, very much like a Jamie type feel. And I don't know what about it, or if it was just his look or whatever. It was just felt like, it just felt like that. And I could be okay with that, because, Jamie is my favorite male companion. So it was pretty, if he's half the companion Jamie is, it'll be interesting. So it should be very interesting to see. And we also got the announcement of another companion because, 3 companions always work really well on the TARDIS.
Well, I have to say, they did not announce that Vinder is a companion. Vinder is a character in this storyline, but I don't know if we can say for sure that Vinder is a companion. In fact, they did, say he has his own ship.
Yes, he does.
So,
which is interesting.
So I don't know if he's just in this storyline, but I don't know if, it remains to be seen whether or not we can actually refer to him as a companion.
Well, it was funny as heck because when they were announcing, we have somebody from Game of Thrones who is joining the cast of Doctor Who, I turned to Mike Falkner and said, Peter Dinklage is the new master? That's awesome!
I'd watch that movie.
Ray Ward would not be the first one to jump to mind, but I haven't seen him in much else, but I remember that when Conan O'Brien did his Live from Comic-Con shows a few years ago and had the whole Game of Thrones panel, he just comes across as a delightful person and very, very different from his role in Game of Thrones. And I thought he was pretty delightful here too.
Mm-hmm.
I dare say almost not recognizable for me. It took me a while to go like, which one was he in Game of Thrones?
Because he was just, the Grey Worm just so stoic and just, like a big, just steel faced, and
he also didn't have hair, so
he also didn't have he didn't speak English really, kinda. He was more Valerian than anything.
So,
but if you're looking at as far as these new guys, if you're looking at the one who's poised to be the action guy, I think it's pretty clear it's Vinder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his costume, it has two themes that run through my head when I look at it. First is, it looks very much like a mining outfit, with the patches and stuff on it, kind of almost like a union guild kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then also you look at that holster, and my first thought was Star Wars on that one. Like, that's Han Solo.
Yeah, like a Han Solo type character.
Yeah. He had a big belt buckle, and at first I remember looking at it, and I'm like looking at it now, I'm like, is that Orabesh? I'm like, no, wrong thing, Melanie. No.
Right.
Yeah,
and I believe he's armed.
Yes, he does have and that's one of the things I found interesting is, the character, how he was dressing and everything. I wonder, and this is just speculation and everything, because I know with the issues that Barrowman's been having, and I know Barrowman was supposed to be a major part of the season, and so are they writing out his character and bringing in this one, to replace him?
I had that vibe as well, Mike. I thought, like, this seems like it might be a replacement for Captain Jack. I don't know if that's true. Because I think some of the issues that they've had with John Barrowman have been later, before would have started filming and writing this. So I don't know if that's fair, but he does seem like a roguish action guy, right? So, and that kind of, and it did seem like there was going to be more with Captain Jack coming.
Yeah. And so I would have been very interested if they've completely written him out. We don't know. Like I said at the beginning of this, we don't know anything about, what's going on with if they wrote Berriman completely out of the series, or have they just, bringing him in later and having him also, which I wouldn't be opposed to, by any means.
I will say, when they advertised that there was going to be a surprise guest, they surprised me. I would not have expected him at all.
No, I was like talking to a friend of mine and said, "Wouldn't it be great if it was Tennant?"
Yeah, I don't know if it was going to be. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be anybody.
No,
that was a past Doctor, but except for maybe one.
Now, our friend Rob Snavely over on the Facebook group actually just said, "We need more Captain Jack." So,
hey,
I'm all for that. I loved him when he was in the Christmas special or holiday special.
I like him in small doses, but I've had enough for now. I have to admit, I think, news about John Barrowman aside, I was never crazy about the character.
Okay, that's fair.
But I dare say this guy is not. He doesn't look like a time agent. So exactly what he is or who he is, I'm curious to find out.
No,
exactly. One thing from the panel that I was kind of in was when Chibnall and company kind of said that this wasn't going to be a series of different, mini arcs, and then, the overreaching arc of the whole episode, like the whole series was going to be, or season was going to be one big story. And I'm kind of going, isn't that usually the case? So or in the back of my head, I'm going, so you're saying that you were able to talk the network into having no bottle episodes?
Yep.
So
that's what I got too.
That's what I got also.
This is one 8-episode story.
Yeah, for some reason they're calling it Trial of a Time Lord. I don't know.
It's funny because I'm actually our friends at Watchathon of Rassilon are just starting to getting to release their trial episodes. I actually recorded one with them for the second segment of the trial, aka Mind Warp. So I've had season long arcs on my mind, and it just seems to be. Doctor Who is. Ever since Doctor Who came back, there's been at least a overarching theme for each season, even if it wasn't, heavily, woven into every story. But so it'll be interesting to see. And 8 episodes is not 10, so hopefully
right.
Kind of never stay as well.
But I could see also them doing, an overarching storyline, but each chapter having a different title or something like that.
Well, sure. Possibly. I also think that one thing that I'm happy about is that they said that, it seems like at least 7 of the episodes will end with cliffhangers. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get the return of the regular cliffhanger back to Doctor Who, which I'm pretty happy with. And look, I know that I have been critical of Chibnall, and I will continue to be critical of Chibnall. And I will say that I'm not sure, I'm not exactly 100% confident that he's going to be able to pull this off. But I will say that when I heard the news that it was going to be one long season story, I was like, oh, so he's Broadchurching it. So I'm like, maybe this is his thing. Maybe this will work in his favor.
I was thinking very similarly in that I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is because this is his wheelhouse. We've seen what he does in Broadchurch when it comes to, okay, you have one big story, you're going to have cliffhangers. Okay, maybe he's going to be in his comfort zone, and the rest of us will maybe enjoy it a little bit more. At least
maybe.
The ones that were really critical.
For me, Season 12 was such a vast improvement over season 11 that I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and think that he's hitting his stride, and maybe this will be even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could be his key to time, where it's a big long arc that actually works for the most part, instead of the big long pseudo arcs that Stephen Moffat would do, where it's like, okay, well, look, there's a sign in the back or a crack in the wall or whatever.
Well, Moffat never finished half of the things he started, though.
That's true. It's true.
I will say too, though, the other thing that kind of made me nervous is that he said this is going to be the biggest thing that Doctor Who's ever done. And I don't know if he was meaning just from a production standpoint, but I think he meant story-wise, which like he's come up with a story that's going to be worthy of a season-long 8-episode arc. And that makes me nervous.
I see that angle as well.
He's decided to do Doctor Who the movie again, except the way he wants to do it, and we're all in for the ride.
Why don't they just call it The Trial of the Timeless Child or something like that?
Yeah, right.
The one thing that makes me nervous is like by episode 3 or 4, if I'm like, I'm not really digging this, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to have 4 more episodes to watch. Kind of like, with Torchwood and Miracle Day, right, Michael?
Right. What a coincidence.
Did you just actually get through that?
No, I'm about halfway through now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
That wasn't Chibnall, right?
No, it was it was more the American side, I think, that was producing those.
Right.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
So they had that relationship with Stars going on.
Right. Yes. Sadly enough. Hey, come on. We got to see Ernie Hudson with Captain Jack. It was pretty awesome.
I've never actually watched an entire episode of Torchwood.
Of the whole series?
Nope.
Wow.
I've seen bits here and there.
Okay.
I think she's already let us know she's not a Captain Jack fan.
We know. We know.
So that shouldn't be a surprise.
Nah.
Just like I've never watched the whole episode or any episodes of the K9 series.
Nope.
Have you watched any of the Sarah Janes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love Sarah Jane.
Were quite good.
Okay.
Yeah. But K9 by himself, I'll pass.
Okay. It was interesting to see, and you could already feel the chemistry between the three. And it was awesome. And I think it's going to be a good fit. But, from what they're saying is that the series already starts, and basically Yaz and the Doctor have been traveling together for quite some time, and they stumble upon something that then sets them off on the adventure. So it was interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree that their chemistry is great, and just the sense that they have a lot of fun together is always nice to see.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, and they also brought up a point too that, they're making the best of a bad situation, and the fact that they can't hire casts of thousands, not that they really could for Doctor Who anyway, but so they had to keep it pretty close, a pretty small group of characters throughout multiple stories. And it sounds like they've had a lot of time, quarantined together to get to know each other and to work off each other better. And I think that is going to be that if that's in the end result product, that's a good thing.
Yeah. It was interesting for something that lasted 40 minutes. Not a lot of news came out of it, though, truthfully. And they kept it pretty much to the, to the chest.
Chibnall had 2 lines, and he was like, I'm done. That's all I want to say.
Chibnall's like, nope, not going to tell you anything. No, which is awesome. I'm glad they are, because I don't want to be spoiled. I like being surprised and everything.
The only thing that I noticed was like with Mandeep saying that it was going to be old, and that they just kind of used that same word, like there's going to be an old monster. That's it. They wouldn't even go further than that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, folks, if you want to dig, there's stuff out there, but we're not touching on that tonight. That's just not what we want to do. And you could go look up, Doctor Who news, or look on, some of these other places that are, publishing stuff from on set, and you could see stuff, but we're not going to talk about that here tonight. It's not worth it.
So instead we're going to talk about John Bishop's gas problem.
Exactly. I loved hearing about just what I wanted.
Back to back to the Christopher Eccleston season when it's all about fart humor.
Exactly.
Right. Oh my God, they're back. Was that a clue?
Oh God, please, no.
Margaret Slavine is the barkeep on Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Just started
that is very,
second
very
season,
true.
and it's the best.
Ah, awesome. Some of us have Apple TV. Some of us don't.
I keep hearing about Ted Lasso, and I'm like, oh, amazing. And then, no, never mind.
No.
Well.
No. But it's interesting because I do, the humor he was trying to push into was it like cryptic clues? No, probably not. It was just him talking about him farting on set. It was awesome.
I think it was just basically Bishop kind of going, okay, what can we talk about that isn't, okay, I'm not allowed to talk about this show, but you're on a panel to talk about this show.
Funny anecdote.
So,
I'm curious.
And since he's a comedian, he has that intuitiveness to go, okay, there's dead air. I'm going to keep speaking and I'll make it more funny. I'll make it more entertaining. Whereas, a Jody or a Mandeep is going to not do that because they're more of the actor side where they're just going to, take the written word and make it bloom into something amazing. Meanwhile, Bishop's going to be used to going, okay, well, I'll get out here and vamp. Let's do this.
One
Here's
of
a fun
the
story about me
things
farting.
that he brought up was interesting, that he was mentioning that he was hired for the role quite a bit before, they stopped filming the previous season. I wonder if plans had changed because of COVID and such, if they were maybe planning on bringing him earlier.
Well, no, because he said that he had to say no because of COVID. He was able to do it because he had a tour, a comedy tour scheduled, and that he was unavailable. So they were going to have to find somebody else if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Yeah, because he had committed to the tour, and then when the pandemic basically essentially canceled his tour, and then it was hey, you want to do this again?
But I know they had to stop filming because he actually caught COVID.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Wait.
See?
Then again, you know what? My entire timeline is completely gone for 2020. It's a whole entire wash. Because technically it started in 2019 with COVID, and then
I don't know what
just kept snowballing.
Exactly.
Oh, what?
So yeah.
I can't remember when I put my pajamas on and went into hibernation. So I'm still wearing my pajamas. So.
Yeah, exactly. We've been meaning to talk to you about that. It's time to change.
I don't want to wear pants.
I'm always like, I've been working home for
slacks pants.
Okay, I was going to say.
I'm always like, I've been working home for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I think the press conference, though, and yes, I mean, it seemed like John was talking a lot, but I think that's one of the things about Jodie and her portrayal of the Doctor that make her different than a lot of the other actors that we've seen in the past, is that she's not an in your face, I'm going to take over this thing. I'm the strong. I don't want to say she's not a strong leader, but she's not like really like she doesn't go out of her way, right? She doesn't just take over things. She kind of just sits back, enjoys things. And then when she has something to say, you listen to her and what she usually has to say is like usually pretty poignant and really cool, but she's not just out there talking to talk.
Which I love because she's such a geek. And it's amazing. She was wearing a Miles Morales
shirt,
which was awesome.
I did think that was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she really embodies her Doctor that way. Her version of the Doctor is not the and not to say that she's not smart, but she's not the smartest person in the room, which has been a hallmark of the revival era, where it's like everyone's going through the motions and trying to solve the problem, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, I've had this key this entire time. Mm-hmm. Let's put it in the lock and solve this problem. She allows the companions to just run with it, and waits for things to develop until they get to a point where she has to step in and do something. And I've got that same vibe off this panel where she's just kicking back, watching things develop and then interjecting where she could.
She seems to enjoy what she's doing so much. I hope she's doing it for a little while longer.
Yeah. I hope so too.
She had even said, she goes, I really, she was talking about Doctor Who and how it's like this, the greatest thing she's ever done. And I love how quickly she was like, looks right at you and goes, I like Broadchurch too. And then went back to it's the greatest moment of my life. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done aside from Broadchurch. And I was like, good on you. Very quick thinking.
Of course, try to still kiss up to the boss, just in case. Of course.
I like you though, Mike, with the introduction of these two new characters. I'm worried about because I don't think Chibnall has done a decent job at juggling a number of companions, a number of characters throughout the seasons before, in the stories before. And I do, think that, is Yaz going to be the one that's, forgotten or just barely used again?
I hope not. I hope she actually picks up the Graham role and actually is, I've been here the longest. I'm now the kind of de facto leader of this family, doctor aside, and helps to cultivate that community.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing, and she's come across as, if you remember from the last 2 episodes of the regular season, she came up as pretty much being the force of the 3 companions. She was the breakthrough. And, it was almost like Graham and Ryan were in the background, which is surprising for Graham because, Graham is God. It's, but it's just amazing. I think she's going to do great, and I was almost kind of disappointed because I was actually looking forward to 2 of the adventures with Jodie's doctor and Yaz going through space. I didn't even think they needed to have, a Dan or anybody else. And maybe Captain Jack shows up or for a couple episodes, but it was mostly the doctor and Yaz. I thought that would have been pretty awesome.
Well, didn't Chibnall say that this is supposed to start off like a couple or few months after the Doctor and Yaz have been off doing their own adventures by themselves, and that this is when we drop into them?
I just wish we could see that. I wish we could sort of see that because I think I don't know that we've really got a chance to see Mandip really go and I really would love to see her have some really great moments.
I've had the same feeling about wanting to see those adventures since they started talking about oh yeah, and remember that thing we did? It's like episode 2 of Jodie's run. You're like, no, I don't remember. I just saw you put on the new costume last week.
Exactly. And it must be pretty awesome to be able to find all those striped T-shirts at thrift stores, because, she has different variations of it, and they must have a whole line of them somewhere. So it's pretty awesome.
That nobody wants.
Exactly.
They're at a thrift store.
Which is pretty cool. I did like also the new logo that they came out with the stripes, the Doctor Who, and then with the stripes behind it and everything. And I think that's really fitting. And it's almost like this is Jodie's Doctor finally coming into her own. And, because Tom, you had the multicolor scarf, and I know the stripes were an homage to that. And now to see the logo with the stripes, I think that's pretty damn awesome.
I think extending the branding, because that, it's been a very popular design for, obviously, T-shirts and other merchandise. I've got a purse and wallet from Loungefly that kind of have that theme going as well. So that's something that, I've enjoyed. It's kind of sucks that it took a female doctor to kind of get all the cute stuff, cute merchandise going, but I'm glad to have it.
Now, I'm looking forward to seeing, the Peter Davison purse and the Colin Baker purse.
Oh, no, don't want the Colin Baker purse.
I mean, all the other doctors have had some sort of reoccurring motif that's kind of been, okay, if you see the 3D glasses, it's going to be, the 10th Doctor, even though really it's been only a couple episodes maybe we saw him wearing.
It was one episode. It was one episode.
He never took, with when Rose went away.
With the Cybermen one.
With the Cybermen.
With the ghosts.
So it was just that. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's the Converse. But then you have the bow tie, that kind of thing. So it's neat having the stripe incorporating it into the logo. So now that the 13th Doctor has that reoccurring motif.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's, I'm glad they're, finally, going on it and, commercializing it. Hate to say it that way, but it's pretty awesome. And, let's run with it, folks. And, some folks have even been saying, it almost looks in some ways like an LGBT flag in some ways. And, that's totally cool. I think that's, embrace whatever you want.
And
that's the great thing.
And the show, under Chibnall, if I can, we can fault him for things, but I think he's really made an effort to bring.
Oh, we could fault him with a lot.
Really made an effort to bring diversity in front of and behind the camera with more women involved in the writing and directing.
Oh, very much so. And that's cool with it and everything. So let's talk about the trailer, which also didn't show all that much.
Not really.
No. But, it showed, the four people we saw on the screen, in action, kind of, sort of. And I saw some pretty heavy CGI scenes in it, so we know that's where the budget's going for those couple scenes.
And that Dan fell at one point hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, maybe he's not so much action hero. Action in that he can kinetically, boom. Oh, cool.
So he's more the Harry Sullivan type. Got it.
Imbecile.
Exactly.
And I did like, in that brief scene, I do like Yaz's reaction to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Right.
Not even really.
Yeah. Here he comes again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be in for a good season. And, all they said is Doctor Who is coming soon. Yeah. That could be tomorrow. Yeah. It could be Christmas. We have no clue.
Didn't they say that they were still filming? Yeah.
They are still filming.
Yeah.
And so
the advertising that was on the Facebook page today said later this year. So
December 31st we'll be getting the holiday special. Yeah.
Which, if you're accurate on the assumption that there's going to be a lot of CGI and they're still filming now, that's probably why maybe that's why they're padding it a bit. Possibly.
But what's really scary to think about is we had to wait this long for the next season. Is this the last season now until we get possibly the anniversary special? Because, 2023 is a year and a half away from now, folks.
Yeah.
And, literally by the time this airs, not our show, but the new season, we're going to be less than 2 years from the, the anniversary, for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. God, that's weird to say, but yes.
Gaps between seasons were getting longer even before COVID, and I kind of see that, as the way of the future. I have to say I don't mind all that much. Whenever Doctor Who comes on again, I will watch it, and in the interim, I will watch other things.
Fair enough.
There's a lot out there.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I mean, like Felicity said, there's an embarrassment of riches out there right now with everything that's in the genre, and as long as they take the time that they are spending developing this to make a very good show, I'm happy with it being just 8 episodes that we got a couple years down the road, as long as it's something that grabs me and says this is amazing, and then leaves me wanting more at the end of those 8 episodes. Like, okay, well, now what happens in 2 years?
Well, exactly. Are we going to, are we going to see new doctors, coming back? Are we going to see, the resolution of the Dr. Ruth storyline? Are we going to see, the Master again? Are we going, we're going to have all these different things that are still floating out there. And we're going to see Gallifrey again, folks. Gallifrey is not gone. Come on.
They've gotten rid of it
that
before.
I guarantee. Exactly.
Yeah.
Gallifrey falls again.
Gallifrey bounces.
Exactly.
Bounces back again.
Exactly.
There's so many dangling threads that are out there right now from the Chibnall era, like you said, the Timeless Child, Gallifrey, the Master is still floating around out there, even down to, the entire thing with Krasko. Like, okay, well, he was there and then gone. Is there something more going on with that discussion, or is it really just a one-off villain? That kind of thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm hoping that this series, if it's going to be as big as they say, really starts to tie those things off a bit.
Well, you also got in the Dalek story, Chris Noth's character came back, and he was obviously working with somebody, and who is it, or type thing. So there's a lot of questions that we're hopefully going to get some answers this next season, or maybe the next season, or
I will say one thing that, and maybe it's just me. They must go to Earth at some point. But everything that I've seen so far, I haven't seen really Earth represented much. And I'm like, are they not going to be on Earth for a whole season? But obviously they're going to have to pick up,
please.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're going to have to pick up Dan. So at some point and all of that. But he also did say that they are good. That, like, even though it's 8 episodes and it's one story, it doesn't just take place in one place, in one location. It takes place all over the place. So it is going to be something where they're going to bouncing around a lot of places and a lot of times, I would think. I don't know, but and then the only other thing that Chris said that was of any significance that we'll find out later is the word swarm.
Swarm. Yeah. Who knows what that means? Who knows what that means?
I don't think Tom knows.
No. It would be awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I would be so happy.
Tom.
Anytime he could that man could just walk as a cameo, like a Hitchcock in the background, and I'd be like, ah!
Hell, they could just have. Yeah, has a great profile. He would just be a shadow to the side, and he would just be saying, "Who knows?" and then disappear.
Yes, and then I give it 10. So I'm like, okay, we're good.
Okay, exactly.
He walks in holding a phone book and like, "Hey, Abrams, Ackworth,
just
Adams."
Do tell. Continue.
Yeah.
I would just be.
Is that when? Can I pre-order that on Big Finish?
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
Tom Baker reads the phone book.
Done.
$29.99. And how many of us here would buy that?
Pre-order.
But it would be pretty awesome. But yeah, I think there's a lot still in store, and I like what they're planning on doing. I like that they're not trying just to do the same old. And I will give that to Chibnall, and you can quote me on that. I'm giving him a compliment that I'm glad he is trying something new.
I'll write this down.
And,
we're recording it.
Exactly. By the end of the season, I might be going, damn you, Chibnall. But we might, I would love to be surprised. I would love to be, thrilled with what's coming. And, like you guys said, there's enough other things out there to keep us distracted, to watch, to talk about. And, do you even, partly it's like, oh yeah, Doctor Who's coming back. It's almost like second thought. It's not, oh my God, Doctor Who's coming back. I can't wait. I'm counting the weeks. I'm not counting the weeks till Doctor Who comes back. I'm looking forward to, in our next episode, talking about a Big Finish adventure, or we're going to be talking about, the comics, or we'll talk about, other things with Doctor Who. It's like, yeah, the series is coming back, but we're surviving without it. And that's not a good thing. I remember how, it used to be, oh, I can't wait for the next season of Doctor Who to come back. I can't wait to see, who is River Song? Who is, or what is going to happen with the Doctor? He's regenerating. Who is this new guy? And, that was excitement. That was, what is Bad Wolf or whatever, what is, and it was just always great. I'm not so 100% sure that excitement is there anymore.
I think a lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with them just not the lags between seasons. And that's
where I'm going with it.
Yeah, if I knew, okay, we're next summer, or whenever it was going to be, okay, I can't wait till the next season. Because I knew that in, X amount of time, like sports, like football, I know when the season's going to start. I know when the next season's going to start. I'm going to be excited for it. But with to Felicity's comment before on, they did not give themselves any favors doing we're changing the season. We're going to change the start date. And now we're changing this. And now we're changing this. Then COVID. Then, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I now know every Disney Plus show that's going to be coming out and when.
Yeah.
So...
Exactly. Oh boy, I'm more excited right now in some ways for the next MCU show or something,
Yeah, and I find it, it's sort of like the way they did it with last year. I was so annoyed by them with the holiday episode, because it's like they know when this is going to air. They know they've got it scheduled, but they refuse to tell us. And are they not confident, or are they just being, mysterious? I don't know.
Mysterious strangers, you could say?
I will give Chibnall credit as well, because he has I know, right? He has managed to surprise us very successfully. First with the reveal of the Master, and then with Dr. Ruth. Those things were. Wow!
I still snicker thinking about Dr. Ruth. Because I keep on thinking Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
But those things were both like huge things that, like, wow, I didn't see those coming at all. But Chibnall with me, it's like, he starts stuff and then I'm not really happy with where they go. So do I have confidence in him to bring up some really cool stuff? Yes. Do I have confidence in him to execute correctly? Not really. I don't even think I watched the third season of Broadchurch. And as a matter of fact, it occurred to me
was there a third season?
There was a third season. Yes.
Oh wow! I watched the first two, but I didn't know
it wasn't. It wasn't spectacular. It was nowhere near the first. So
yeah, even the second one started
blew me away.
But, even the second one started to dip in quality. I think, but that's not. And I have no idea behind the scenes like who else he's got working with him as far as writing. I don't think he's writing all 8 episodes. So if it is one continuous story, I'm like, well, maybe he is, but I don't. I would imagine he has somebody else writing with him.
I would hope so.
I'd kind of be curious to see or find out who those persons were.
Well, let's go back to Facebook real quick. Rob Snavely actually was asking, is there any chance of Missy showing up or River? I don't think so.
Let me shake my 8 ball.
Yeah. I would love to see both of them show up. I would love to see a scene between River and Jody. Jody's doctor would be amazing. And hear her walking up to River, "Hello, sweetie," would be just like,
I think you have a better shot.
No, go ahead.
I think you have a better shot at River coming back rather than Missy, because I'm still kind of in that you've already recast the Master. We've already got the Master again. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you're going to see Missy at all, because he's already taken that character and reused it. So reusing possibly it.
Yes and no.
I was just going to say,
I have theories. Go ahead.
Based on what both actresses have been doing lately, I would say they wouldn't have been available to film this season.
No, not at all for this season, because I know Michelle Gomez is really busy, working on TV.
She was on The Flight Attendant.
But
she
also,
was awesome on that.
Yeah, but she's also doing Big Finish work as Missy too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think the Master we're seeing is the current Master. That's just
that would be fun.
That's my theory, is that he's possibly somewhere before the War Master. Maybe, something like, something earlier. That's, because it's weird to think that Missy would turn into him, and everything. So
it'd be neat if it's a Master for Ruth Doctor.
Possibly. And that opens a whole, variant possibilities.
No, not very.
Variants.
Time police and
exactly.
I fall in the same. I fall in the same boat too. I would love to see Jody and Alex together on the screen to have that interaction, but I also think, man, River Song's story has narratively come to a close. Like the Capaldi episode she was in, and the Husbands of River Song, that sealed the loop. I'm like, if I don't see River Song again, I'm fine not seeing River Song on Doctor Who again.
And Big Finish is doing an amazing job filling in the in-betweens, her meeting the other doctors and other masters and such with the Diary of River Songs. And I am happy right now that I don't have to hear that damn theme. That's all. Because, man, I love the Big Finish. I love everything they're doing, but the River Song theme they have, they just blast it out. And, at the end of each chapter, it's like I need my headphones just go off of the, just like, and everything. But, if Alex plays River forever, until she's old and wizened, and which is hundreds and hundreds of years from now, that I will be happy to listen to those Big Finishes. To see her again on TV, I don't think so.
I'm just I've settled into her being on Discovery of Witches, and that's the character I associate with her now, honestly.
And that's cool. And that's really cool. Same thing with Michelle Gomez. Would I be shocked if she ever showed up on Doctor Who again as Missy? No, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw her in the 60th anniversary. But I don't expect to see her on the regular, on a regular storyline. But then I said the same thing about the Saxon Doctor too. I mean, Saxon Master. So, I didn't ever expect to see John Sim again as the Master. And I think, they redeemed that Master with that storyline.
Absolutely.
So,
it was.
I certainly redeemed John Sim.
Oh God, yes. And so, and I think that was one of the last great things that Moffat did was, redeem that Master and everything. Not redeem him in goodness, but redeemed him to make him a good Master and everything. And, and I loved it when, he pulled the makeup off and it was John Sim. It was just like, this is getting real.
It would have been great if
we
didn't have a heads up that he was coming back.
I know.
Which is why I thought Sasha Dewan's reveal was really great.
Oh, Sasha's was great.
Yes, absolutely.
My master plan. And that was just like, that is good. That is really, really good. So, yeah, I definitely see a lot of, fun stuff that could be possible. And, I'd like the idea of older people showing up. Would I want to see Donna come back? Yes. I would love them to finish off that storyline. Would I like to see, Martha or some of the others? Sure. Would I want to see Rose? No. So it's okay.
I don't think we're getting Noel Clark back either.
No. No. We have a better chance of seeing Barrowman back before, long before. Noel Clark has...
We have a better chance of seeing Hartnell back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think you're right.
I mean, he probably won't see Martha either.
I think you'll have a better chance of seeing Chris Eccleston on TV as the Doctor again before.
There you go.
So, but yeah, it's really interesting, and I do like, how confident they seemed in the panel and how at ease they weren't. I didn't feel any nervousness. I didn't feel like, oh God, we really hope this season pans out and everything. I didn't feel that at all. I think
they seemed like they were just tired from filming all day.
Yeah.
Like it really did seem like they were like, yeah, we got to do this, but we're just kind of here because we've been filming all day and we're going to do this.
Yeah, for John Bishop to say like the best thing that's happened lately is they all got to have like a nice leisurely dinner together. It was telling.
Yeah,
but it was sweet too.
Yeah. And I liked, when they said that they were all still in the bubble, and everything, that they were all still filming together and everything. So
at one point, and I don't know if this is me just trying to be as theoretical and going, when Jacob Anderson was talking about just, he started going on his own little rant about how much he loved Doctor Who and that he got to go in the first thing he did was go into the TARDIS and push all the buttons and pull all the levers. And then there was another ship and then he got to push all the buttons and da-da-da-da. And, but
which was adorable. It was
adorable. And you just saw it in his eyes that he was just so giddy and trying to push that giddiness through to us. So to really get that infectiousness. At one point, and here comes my little theory part where I'm going, he says something that he loves something with all his heart. And then he said something again, but then he used the word hearts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We both, Mike and I caught that. We caught that.
I went, and what, sir? Because I know you did not just slip that, because I know you're a Doctor Who fan, and you're just, are you a Time Lord?
Well, that's when he said, and that's the thing I got spotted too, because when he said that he got his own ship and then started going over the buttons and levers and stuff, and I'm like, does he have a TARDIS too? Like, that's what I was thinking, because I'm like, oh, so
yeah,
maybe.
that was because I'm not a spoiler person.
Nope.
I'm not a person that runs out and finds these things. I am specifically connecting dots because of what we saw on that preview.
It would be unusual. I don't know if we've had a Time Lord that just has a name, a regular name. Like he's not like the Vendor, or maybe the Vendor.
Like when he said Vendor, and I was like, oh, Vendor Lou, you know. And then I started thinking, and with the hair, kind of like, oh, Red Dwarf, awesome, cool.
Well, it's really interesting too, because I mean the lore is still kind of freshly changed right there with all the Time Lord stuff in Gallifrey. I mean, we've got the revelation, the timeless child may be the Doctor. I say that because the Master always lies. Gallifrey is in shambles. There was the one image they put out at the panel, which was the three members of the TARDIS crew standing on what looked to be the seal of Rassilon. So there's some more Time Lordy stuff out there. I wouldn't be surprised if Vinder ends up being a Time Lord or something along those lines, or if again, my speculation thing thrown out there, if he ends up being the actual timeless child, like it's because that's been a running theme throughout the season so far. Maybe the Doctor isn't, because the Master just wanted to screw with her and get access to the Matrix. Stuff along those lines. I don't know, but it'd be fun to find out. And when they talk about the biggest adventure the Doctor's ever been on, it's an 8-episode continuous story. Well, they've got a huge hole still to figure out with that timeless child destruction of Gallifrey thing. I feel like it's going to be a big thing.
And they've had a lot of time to write.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
that's why I wonder how many other people are helping him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was going to say Romana had a name.
Yes,
Romana just had a Romana name. So maybe Vinder's short?
Maybe.
So we'll have to wait and see. But I definitely think we'll have to explore this, and hopefully sooner than later we'll be able to talk about new seasons and new episodes of Doctor Who. Fingers crossed, and
lay your bets now.
Lay your bets, and it'd be very interesting. We should actually make it like a football poll or something. Everyone puts $10 in or something, and whoever gets it closest to the actual start date, actually wins the pot.
It's squares.
Exactly. All right, who had 10:24? Yeah, exactly. And 22 minutes, and so it'll be very interesting. They did say that Doctor Who will not be premiering new episodes on HBO. It will be either in the United States, it will be BBC America or AMC Plus, if you have either of those services. And I was surprised because HBO has been, we've got the new series of Doctor Who, and I'm shocked it's not premiering on HBO. That was one of the winning points with me getting HBO, because I don't have BBC America or AMC Plus. But I guess I'm going to have to be getting for 8 weeks that free sample. No.
BBC America is still, I don't have cable anymore either. We've been streaming. I've always had BBC America mainly because of Doctor Who, and I'm glad that it's not. It's still more accessible than AMC Plus is a separate subscription fee, as is HBO.
Right. Well, exactly, but it'll probably be worth it to get it for about a week or two. No, and then damn you, Chibnall, I'll cancel. No.
Whatever service you can watch it on without ads, that's the one I'd sign.
That's exactly.
That's not BBC America.
Right. I know.
No, how many more ads can they throw in on BBC America?
Yeah. I've had AMC Plus earlier in the year to watch Discovery of Witches season 2. Before, now it's airing on regular AMC, but they showed it without commercials as well. So. An option.
That's cool.
For people who want to watch Doctor Who.
That'd be awesome. So, we'll definitely have to look into research. And if anyone could give us any pointers, please write us. We definitely would love to hear, easy ways, and no, we don't have the DSN stuff to be able to change our numbers to make it look like we're in the UK so we can get Doctor Who for free and download it that way. Yes, I've been told about that, but no, we're not going to do that. So, or at least we don't recommend it here on the program.
No.
We don't endorse that at all.
No. Don't get a VPN.
No. But, my email address is... No. So, but definitely, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I think we hit most of the points. And I think, everyone on, Facebook Live, thank you for joining us. And it was a pleasure, seeing folks. And, Rob Snavely, thank you for the questions. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
And it's always great. And so, on behalf of myself, I'm going to say thank you for listening. Michael Gordon, thank you as always.
As always, it's my pleasure. Hey, we missed the biggest news of all, and that came out of San Diego regarding Doctor Who, and that's there's going to be Doctor Who tiki mugs.
Whoa!
Wow! Ooh!
Are they actually going to do all the Doctors like Funko didn't?
Well, they're
Don't
mini
go
mugs.
there. That still hurts. Dude.
They're mini mugs, and there's an 11th Doctor, a Dalek, a Cyberman, and is it a Weeping Angel? There's another one. I can't remember what.
Of course, they had to start with. They had to start with the Doctor who wears a bow tie and the fez.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course, and the Weeping Angel one. You have to constantly stare at, or else.
I feel targeted.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I could tell. I could tell. Mike, anything with tiki in it, it's like that has your name on it.
It's just like I was targeted specifically by the Doctor Who Barbie.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Felicity, anything you want to shout out about?
No, not really. Although I'm, if all goes, if everything doesn't, fall apart between now and the first week in September, I will be at DragonCon.
Yay. And Melanie, thank you so much.
Well, thank you once again for having me on. Quick self-plug would be if you're in Florida and you're going to Tampa Bay Comic-Con, I will be having a booth there. Otherwise, in 2 weeks, I'll be at MegaCon, Orlando.
Exactly.
Also,
she'll be the one in the giant bubble. It'll be
I'm
perfect.
at 353. They told me, yeah, I'm behind plexiglass and wearing a mask, by the way.
Yeah.
And I love you all. Don't ask me for a hug. I'm not touching anyone.
No.
Sorry.
No, virtual hugs. Or you could donate to her, via, PayPal or
PayPal, or just send me money and I'll draw you something. How's
exactly.
that? I'll paint you.
Exactly. Then. She'll paint you like that gorgeous painting behind her. So that is pretty darn awesome.
Thank you.
Or she'll donate a cat to you too.
I know. That's the print. That's my brick of a printer that I do my prints on.
That's her, and she'll print out the cat for you too.
Cat attachment.
And Mr. Mike Falkner, at last but never least.
Hey, it was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you've been watching that wonderful Torchwood.
Yeah. So people who know me, and I'll plug it every time, my site is Creative Criticality. It's at creativecriticality.net. One of the things I do there is the Timestamps Project, where since 2014 I've been going week by week and talking about Doctor Who episode by episode. And I've been going more of a chronological order once we got to the revival era. So right now I'm in the middle of Torchwood Miracle Day. And it's, I call it the doldrums of that series because it's been up here high and then it's slowly creeping down as I've gone along.
I wish I could tell you nice things about it.
Don't.
It doesn't get better. I mean, I've seen this series. It doesn't get better.
Okay, at least you've seen it.
Yeah. And like Felicity and Mike and Michael, unless the world completely goes to crap, I will be at DragonCon over Labor Day weekend. So stop by, say hi. I'll be floating around doing the panel thing like I always do every year. So
that is
specifically,
awesome.
Kevin will be in the American Sci-Fi Classics track room most of the time, and I will probably be there as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think most of us will be, Joe pretty much has us under contract with our souls.
We do it all for Joe.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I know definitely we do have a Doctor Who panel signed up, more coming as we get closer to DragonCon. Mm-hmm. But we will give you dates and times and, find us behind plexiglass. It'll be great. So, We'll have monitors of us there. Yeah, that'll be it. So definitely, please, as always, we'd love to hear from you guys. Feedback at earthstationwho.com. As we also like to say, we are up on, we have our website, which is earthstationwho.com. Definitely check out past episodes of the show. And of course, we are part of the ESO network, and we want to thank our Facebook group. We want to thank about all our fans out there. All 2 of them. It's pretty darn awesome. Thank you guys, as always, to join us. On behalf of myself, Mike Faber, we will see you here next time on Earth Station Who. And Mary, I hope things get better for you. We miss you. Yeah. Peace. And we are done.
Welcome to Dr. Geek's Laboratory.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Geek here with a shout out to all the scientists who worked tirelessly to bring a COVID-19 vaccine into reality. Let's face it, creating something of this magnitude is a miracle worthy of Dr. McCoy himself. And now, Dr. Geek needs you to do your part. Remember, each shot is one small step back to normal, one giant leap to putting the pandemic behind us. We can do this. For more information, visit vaccines.gov to find your nearest provider.
Hello there. I can see you have great taste in podcasts. Keep your discerning streak going with the Soul Forge podcast. No topic is off limits on the Soul Forge. We talk about life, toys, dating, geekiness, love, nerdiness, sex and dating, TV, movies, and just about anything you can think of. Check out the Soul Forge podcast. SoulForgePodcast.com and wherever you find your podcasts. We're everywhere.
You have been listening to Earth Station Who, a bi-weekly pop culture podcast dedicated to all things Doctor Who, featuring talents from across the universe. All topics on the show are the sole opinions of the individual and are used for entertainment value alone. You subscribe to our podcast up on iTunes, Stitcher, or follow our blog at www.esopodcast.com. You can also follow us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. If you enjoyed the show, please leave feedback up on iTunes.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.